He's the horror hunter from down under. He will go in search every week of the best and worst in horror movies throughout the month of October. His mission? Don't come back until he's found some of the best and worst putrid piles of horror goodness you could ever imagine. Horror hunter from down under back. Let's talk about The Evil Dead. Now you're probably wondering, which Evil Dead am I referring to? The original film from the early 80s or the new film from 2013? Well, let's talk about both, shall we? Both films were produced by Sam Raimi, Rob Tappert, and of course Bruce Campbell. So, I love the original Evil Dead. How can you go wrong with the charisma of Bruce Campbell and the undeniable talent of Sam Raimi? Now, I'm aware I've been talking about zombie movies, but the reason I bring this up is, well, I know there are a lot of Evil Dead fans out there that are going to say, Evil Dead's not technically a zombie movie. They're called Deadites in the franchise. I'm aware they're called Deadites in the franchise. I really am. That said, they're zombies. You know it. I know it. Stop living in denial. So, let's talk about this, shall we? The reason I love The Evil Dead is because it's a creative horror movie. It's a DIY horror movie. It's the kind of movie that you feel like after watching it, you could go into the woods in your backyard and actually make a film similar to it. That said, I wouldn't advise trying it. Read some of the terrible stories about the behind the scenes of that film and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. The remake of Evil Dead. Well, again, it's got a certain charm to it, and on top of having that charm, it's also got a really talented cast. That said though, it is nowhere near the original, at least not in my mind. While it is a genuinely scary movie and a very well made movie, it doesn't have the charm of the original. That said, it's still a very good movie. For me, the difference is, just a little bit here and there. The original's a 5-star for me, the remake a 4-star. But why is the original a 5-star? Why is the remake a 4-star? Well, here's why. The original film, at least for me, is something that I saw when I was younger. And when I saw the film for the first time, I remember thinking to myself, why exactly does this work? It shouldn't work. There are so many reasons it shouldn't work. Yet I kept finding myself pulled more and more into the movie the more I watched it. Eventually I just became obsessed with it and started watching it every chance I got. Now, I love the original because of the charm and the talent involved. That cast in the original film is absolutely amazing. Bruce Campbell oozes charm in his first performance. Technically not his first performance for Sam Raimi, but first well-known performance, maybe we should say. The problem is that the remake, while the cast is very good, and while Fede Alvarez is a great director, he's lost something of the, I don't want to say the camp value, but to some degree the camp value. What he's done is he's created a serious horror movie out of Evil Dead, more serious than the original, which in my opinion is the most serious of the original Evil Dead franchise. That said though, the reason it doesn't have the charm and appeal is because I think he meant for that to be missing. He wanted it to be a serious horror film so that you could watch the film and separate it and distinctly separate it from the original. He wants you to watch the remake because it's a good movie, not because it's going to remind you of a simpler time when all you needed was a couple of cheesy one-liners and some decent or halfway decent gore effects. This time around, you've got realistic gore, you've got some really terrifying scenes, and you've got scenes that are going to make you go, wow, imagine if they'd been able to do that in 1980. The reason both these films work is for total opposite reasons. The original, the charm, the somewhat campy nature of it, the fact that it was sort of a DIY film. The new film, because it's a more serious take on older material that wants you to take it more seriously than you ever took the older material. You see where I'm going with this, guys? So, the horror hunter thinks that both these films have merit. He thinks you should check out both of them. But I'm curious, from the horror hunter to you out there, which is your favourite of the Evil Dead movies? Did you enjoy the original more or the remake more? Why? Tell me in the comments below. I'm the Horror Hunter, I've been your host. Don't forget to click that bell icon so you can be notified every time Aaron Talks or the Horror Hunter has a new video uploaded for 31 Days of Horror. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys later.